real damage.
But no, I'm not saying real damage. I'm saying just think about the trust in that, hey, I'm going to put you upside down, hold you up, jump, flip forward, and smash you.
Well, they've been doing it for so long,
Yeah, but it's one thing doing it like in the ring where like you've trained for that and everything, and now it's like, all right, let's do it outside the ring.
No, but again, obviously we still know they're friends in real life. I'm sure of it. So they obviously they have the trust in each other.
You're breaking down the fourth wall, man.
Kayfabe is dead.
I want to say this real quick. Shinsuke, he missed with the punch to the gonads.
Yeah,
and he did these. He was kind of like on the ground, like praying, and like
it was great.
He had these great facials, man, and it was so money. And, listen, there's a language barrier, and he's, can't speak the best English, but just his facials and the way what he can do, he's really, really good at it.
I honestly am dead set he can speak like perfect English.
I think he could speak fine.
I think he could speak better than he has, but I think now they're going with this character of how he doesn't.
No, I'm saying in real life.
No,
he said,
that's what I'm saying.
Shinsuke, he'd be like, hey man, I feel like he'd be like, normal.
I think he could speak a little.
His facials were really good in the match.
He's awesome, man.
He didn't have the best facials of the weekend. We'll get to that in the second half, but let's just continue.
We're talking about Friday night. Did you have a date?
Raw Women's Championship.
Probably one
Ronda
of the best moments of the
Rousey
night.
defeated Nia Jax via disqualification.
Was this a good match? I was really dozing in and out at this match.
Ronda Rousey is a stud in the ring. Is she
good?
She is ridiculously good.
Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax.
No.
Nia Jax.
Nia Jax stood there.
Nia Jax looked good in this match.
Because Rousey was performing.
They both worked very well together, and they both look good. I'm not a fan of Nia Jax or her in-ring work. I think we all can agree on that. We talk about that pretty much at least every week, or we try and mention it every week. We're not a fan of her in-ring work, but I think this match, they worked so well together. They brought both out the best of each other, and obviously,
I just think Rousey was selling so well. She was every hit. She was selling it. She was all in on this, and it was great.
And you know what's annoying too? Obviously, I don't know if any of you follow Nia Jax on Twitter, but today she tweeted that how Money in the Bank didn't end the way she wanted, because obviously she lost the belt, but she was still a great performance by Ronda Rousey, and she has so much more to do here in WWE. What is that? Isn't that like a face tweet? That is such a face tweet.
Dude, this whole feud has been, let's flip the coin before Raw and then see, is she a face or is she a heel? Is she a face or is she a heel?
Nia Jax has no character right now in terms of she's a good girl or a bad girl, or I should say good monster or bad monster. Oh my god. And also that attire needs to go. Please put pants back on. We don't need literally there's the only time I can't talk about it.
Ronda Rousey though is just incredible.
Ronda Rousey looks really good too.
She was killing it in the ring.
Her attire's
awesome.
her
outfit.
All right, well,
she doesn't wear knee pads. It's interesting. Not very
just like Pete Dunne. The cruiserweight.
Yeah, and Cody Rhodes didn't wear knee pads for a while.
So let's move on as to why Nia Jax lost the championship, because Alexa Bliss defeated Nia Jax via pinfall to win the title.
Cashing in her Money in the Bank.
You only saw this once from Dean Ambrose, I believe, in terms of Money in the Bank cash in history.
On the same night?
Yes, on the same night.
No, Kane did it as well.
Oh, that's right. Kane did it as well. But so you add Alexa Bliss to this category now, and I think, like I said before, this was done so well. I think this is the only way, really, you could have Ronda and Nia finish, because Ronda still gets the win. Nia doesn't look too bad. She still, was kind of getting beat up by Ronda and then lost to Alexa Bliss, so she falls off a little bit, but not as much as just straight up losing to Ronda.
This could lead to a potential triple threat match.
Yeah,
that's what I'm assuming it's going to go.
It's got to lead to something. But here's the thing, though: if it's a triple threat match, do you see again Ronda losing?
Yeah, because she doesn't have to get pinned. So she eventually needs to lose, and she doesn't take the pinfall.
That's right. Okay, so you can see that Extreme Rules that go around there,
and then maybe at SummerSlam you get the singles match. I would assume Ronda's going to be in a big SummerSlam match, and it should be a singles match at this point.
Yeah.
But do you put the title on her? To me, I like Bliss as champion. I think this is such a big moment for cashing in the Money in the Bank. I don't want to see it taken off just 2 months later. But if
But I feel like here's the thing, though. I feel like there's so many competitors now that have a shot at the title, where I feel like the title reigns, they don't have to be so crazy long. Sometimes it's good. When you have AJ's,
Yeah, he's been champion since December.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, you even say, I can't even say Brock's, because obviously he doesn't defend it as much. But I feel like they're good, but not all the time.
Dude, Alexa Bliss is a 5-time women's champion.
I know. She did all that in 2 years. 2 years she did that.
It's insanity.
It's crazy, but you know what? Good for her. She deserves it. She really
She's
does
beautiful.
put in the work. Also, she's got the looks, obviously. You know that will help her out a little bit in this company. It has before. If it wasn't for that, Mandy Rose would not be here.
Hey.
But yeah, so overall, this was a good turnout. I'm glad the way they did it. And again, just, it's whatever.
Let's move to the main event. And when's the last time the WWE Championship has been a main event? Has AJ had a main event on a pay-per-view?
That stinks. Not since SmackDown had their own pay-per-views.
That stinks. All right, men's Money in the Bank. Braun Strowman defeated Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Bobby Roode, The Miz, Samoa Joe, Rusev, and Kofi Kingston to win the briefcase. I like that Kofi came out. He was the guy. He has the most experience with the ladder matches.
Got a big pop, too, and then he showed a smile, too, so that was nice to see.
I think, again, people get lost in the shuffle. Again, I was kind of dozing in and out. I was very, very tired. But the thing is, I feel like, you're just like, oh, Samoa Joe's in this match. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Bobby Roode is in this match.
This is one of the worst Money in the Banks I've ever seen.
I thought it had cool moments about, obviously with Kevin Owens taking that fall from the ladder.
I think that was the only good moment for me.
I like how realistic it was, where they had him actually not get back up and be in the match again. Because when you take a fall from that height, you should be out of the match from then on. So I like the way they did that. I
like Braun kind of hulking up and running through the ladder.
The ladder, that was cool.
That. And I'm not the biggest Braun fan. I think a lot of his stuff is overdone. But, he's certainly over, man. He doesn't get booed, and you can't say that for a lot of baby faces these days.
I think the way they're going to be going with this now in terms of the future, where, obviously Meltzer isn't always right about the stuff he comes out with, but it does seem like that you're going to have Roman and Brock main event again, possibly for SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So, maybe you can have, obviously, you can have them like what you said, Justin, before, where instead of cashing in, because it's kind of like the cowardly thing to do, and Braun's not that type of character, you'll just have them say, I want Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, or you could just do something like that.
Yeah, I think I would certainly be more interested in just Braun versus Brock.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of triple threat matches, again, because somebody's always eliminated.
But here's the thing,
always two people working.
If you have that, you can now have Brock be done, and then it can lead to another Braun and Roman feud, which obviously the first time around was money, and now if you have the Universal Championship with it, I think it could be even better.
I think either way you could still do that. You can have Braun win it at SummerSlam, just in a Braun versus Brock match, and then Roman...
Brock is going to be off doing whatever.
Yeah, he's doing UFC, and then you can have Roman even kind of turn heelish, which hopefully happens, and be like, I never really lost, kind of be like a crybaby, a la Bret Hart in 97, not comparing them to as performers, but, Bret kind of did that, got screwed out of the title every once in a while, and then would start crying and whining, and eventually it led to a heel. Maybe Roman could start doing that. I never really lost. My feet touched first during the cage match. So there's a lot of ways they could do this. I'm just, shocked that Samoa Joe didn't win. I really thought that's where they were going, but they gave it to a Raw guy. Who knows, that could be
next for AJ Styles. You never know.
I would love a Joe versus Styles match, because they've had some classics in TNA. The one thing I really hated from this was Michael Cole's call.
Michael Cole is just terrible.
Monster in the bank. Is that what he said?
That's going to be a thing. They totally, I don't think he's the one that created that.
Of course he didn't, but it was so, it was so written down.
We're used to that.
It's so, that was, planned, and obviously it was planned, but the whole thing is, it's supposed to be spontaneous. And Eric Bischoff on his podcast, he actually tells how he would never inform the announcers, really what's going to happen, because it would bring out this spontaneity and, creative, just on the, you want that raw, visceral reaction. You don't get that when Michael Cole's reciting a line that's just, written for him. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying. I agree with you entirely. They just need to let the announcers be the announcers.
Because I don't think Cole's actually that bad if he was, had the ability to just actually
I just really don't want to comment on this at all. I mean, just the Money in the Bank. I'm just not a fan of it. I just didn't like it. I thought it was a bad match. I just didn't like it.
Overall, I'm going to say I'll give it a B for the pay-per-view.
For the whole show?
I think it was one of the better pay-per-views we've seen in the past, because, it has been a little better than before, but I think now, I'm
interested to see.
I'm looking forward to Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, I'm
definitely
interested to see who AJ Styles feuds with, who Shinsuke feuds with, what Braun does with his briefcase. All right, so let's move over to NXT Takeover. Again, this was something where I was seeing a movie, so I didn't catch the whole show. I caught it halfway through, so you guys have to run through this. NXT Tag Team Championship, the Undisputed defeated, how do you say these guys? Undisputed Era.
Oney Lorcan versus Danny Burch. This is a great match. Awesome start, high energy. It started off...
spots.
Yeah, great spots, incredible sequences. These guys, at the end of the match, just killed each other, and it was great to see.
Kyle O'Reilly is definitely one of the underrated wrestlers, I would say, in NXT, especially in Undisputed Era.
Kyle O'Reilly makes the Undisputed Era.
No, Adam
Cole is the front guy. He's the guy you see when you're walking in, and then Kyle O'Reilly's the guy that puts it all together. Because the way he sells, the way he comes out playing the guitar, the way he does everything he does, if it was Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Roderick Strong, this team wouldn't work as well because Kyle O'Reilly, the way he sells, the way he performs, they all play their role. But Kyle O'Reilly's the guy who's the glue that keeps them together. Mm-hmm. Adam Cole is doing his thing. Bobby Fish is injured. Roderick Strong is just a spot machine. Everything that guy does is just amazing. And Kyle O'Reilly's the guy that brings it all together. You bring him in, you beat the hell out of him, he makes that hot tag, and that's how the match continues on.
Yeah.
It's just a good thing.
NXT tag teams have, stolen the show from time to time at takeovers. I love, the fact that Triple H has faith in these guys. And you know what's so cool about this card? There's 5 matches.
Yep.
That's less than half.
That's the way it should be. It was not even 8 to 11. It's like 8 to 10:45, too.
It's so good,
man. It went to 11.
No, it didn't.
It's just
it
well
definitely did
done.
Not. I know for 100%.
As much as we all love wrestling, we don't want to watch it for 4 hours, 5 hours. It gets, you're looking at your phone eventually. You're texting, you're tweeting, you're doing something else. When it's just 2 hours, maybe 3 hours.
No, 3 hours. It really, especially for a pay-per-view.
It really keeps your attention. This, you guys said, was a good match. Ricochet defeated Velveteen Dream via pinfall for the next match.
You need to watch this match, Justin.
This is a classic.
You have to watch this match. This was amazing. The spots in it, and just Ricochet is an amazing performer.
He's in a league of his own when it comes to athletic ability.
Velveteen Dream coming out like Hulk Hogan, but in his own style, doing everything that Hulk Hogan used to do. I thought that was awesome. I think it's just amazing. I don't know. Velveteen Dream is something like
Velveteen Dream is the future of WWE.
And he's so young. He's in his early 20s.
I'm going to say it every week. This guy is the future for WWE. He
deserves everything.
He just sells like a legend. He gets hit, and you hear him scream and flop around. Mm-hmm. He does a move that's risky, and he plays off like he's injured and he's not doing so well.
Ricochet, he'll do an elbow drop and then hold his elbow.
And then, and he'll be like, "Oh, that hurt."
Which is great. Van Damme used to do that when he would hit the frog splash. Benoit with the diving headbutt, but I think Benoit was actually hurt.
Yeah, he was actually hurt.
He was not selling.
Yeah. So everything that Dream does is methodical. It's obviously he is thought through his entire.
I wish he would get a win though. He hasn't really had many victories on these takeovers.
That's true. The only win he's had is Ono. But Joe, I'll let you say it because I know exactly what you're going to say.
He doesn't need it.
He doesn't need it. Yeah.
This guy comes out to thunder his chants. They were chanting for him during a Roman Reigns match. This guy is so
eventually
over.
You do need it.
I think for the future, I think you're at your next takeover, depending on where you're going to put him. I think that's where he's going to have to get a win because I will say he's going to start needing them now after
No matter how good you are, you always need a win.
No, absolutely.
But still, I agree with Joe and in everything that he just said because Velveteen Dream right now, it's the type of character where he's still so over that you really don't need to give him a win, and he's like a perfect guy to get someone over.
And plus, Ricochet's pretty much brand new to the company at this point.
This is
his
first singles match for a takeover.
And Velveteen Dream is just everything he does. He's proven at this point in NXT, I believe.
How many takeovers do they do a year? Like 5?
It's about 5 or 6, yeah.
I wouldn't mind if they bumped that up to 7. I think these things, again, you don't want to overdo it.
I think they have a perfect amount. I have to admit, I think 5 or 6. The way they do it is so well, and it makes the build up so much better, and it makes the shows better. And to be honest, I think that's what WWE, like the main roster, doesn't do right. But
this is the sick part for me is the fact that this match, Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream, beats every match the night after it. Sunday night, this match is better than every single match.
It was better than AJ and Shinsuke?
Yes.
Yes. I don't know about that.
No. It's hard to... It's like apples and oranges. It's difficult. But honestly, as far as me being engaged in Velveteen Dream and Ricochet, if there weren't crotch shots in AJ and Shinsuke, or like crazy outside moves or anything, or like through a table or anything.
But there was.
There was. But I'm saying these guys put on a match that I don't really like watching straight up wrestling matches. I like spot fests or crazy things. I loved this match, and there were a lot of good spots here, but everything that happened in this match just was flawless. These two worked together perfectly. And this match, it outshines all the other ones. Just simply, maybe